There we go. It was like spinning wheel, spinning wheel. We're here. Hello. Welcome to Live with Kim on Tuesday nights. And I just got a haircut and it's a little asymmetrical bangy thing. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but it's not a mistake. It was semi-intentional, I think. According to my hairstylist, it might have been a mistake and then he just played it off. We don't know, but we're going with it. And I'm happy to be here with you on a Tuesday night. I am hydrated. I have my water, smart water, by the way. I get it because I like the way it tastes. It has no electrolytes in it. There's no sodium in here. Anyway, just letting people know because some people think it does. Anyway, what did I do today all day? I made a little slippery here. A lot, hold on. A lot of mayo is what I did today. This might be a terrible idea not to do in the kitchen. There's a moth. Oh, hello. It's like a butterfly. So I have paper towels, but I thought I would show you the outcome of my experiment here. Oh, okay. Let's take the tops off. My boyfriend would be like, "What are you doing? You have carpet." Anyway, okay. All right. So slippery. Okay. So first I'm not turning this one sideways because it's drippy. This is mayo I made with 2 egg yolks, no egg white, and avocado oil. So you can kind of see that the consistency of this is like a thick sauce, right? Can see it. Ooh, wants to spill. So, and this was in the fridge, so they've all been chilled. This, ooh, yeah, this was the one I made with a whole egg. So you can see all this exactly the same ingredients. Avocado oil. See, it's like a little bit green almost. But you can see it's actually what I think of as more traditional mayo consistency. And so that one was made with a whole egg instead of 2 egg whites. So what is in there? Lemon juice, salt, egg of some variety, either 2 egg yolks or 1 egg white, and Dijon mustard. Yeah. And then oil. So this is the texture we got. And they look pretty similar to this without being refrigerated, but they were all refrigerated a little bit. So that's that. This one I stirred up because it had like a layer on it. This is bacon mayo. So you can see, it makes sense, right? That bacon grease, when you it's liquid at room temperature, but we put it in the fridge, it turns solid. So this one gets kind of a little chunky almost, but you stir it up, let it sit for a minute, and it's not. So there's bacon mayo. And then this one is actually my favorite, which is I made it with something called Zero Acre, which I should have brought with me to show you the bottle, but I didn't. So this one is with this Zero Acre mayo oil, which is a cultured oil and it's completely flavorless. So this one to me tastes the most like traditional mayo. So this one I also made with a whole egg instead of just a white. So anyway, so those are just some different mayos that I did, and I did videotape myself making the mayo so you can see how easy the process is. It takes about 45 seconds to make mayo. So one thing I did, that lid is not fitting on there. We'll just call that good. One thing I just see I just see problems. I see problems. I see messes. I make messes. One thing I was experimenting with today was, do I like all egg yolks or a whole egg? And do I think, because some people have said, well, with the whole egg, you get a little bit more of an eggy taste. And I like apparently a little bit of an eggy taste because I'm really leaning towards the whole egg. Anyway, has anyone had any experience recently making mayo and your thoughts? And I'm not sure if I like lemon juice or vinegar better. I kind of like the sharper taste of vinegar, but that was what I was doing today. I just wanted to do an easy peasy mayo demo thing. So I'll have that hopefully up on the internet before too terribly long. I also, for no particular reason, have on my desk a kombucha squash, just in case Anybody wanted to see a red kabocha squash? That's what you got. That's what we got. Anyway, so yeah, I was doing some prep stuff today, and I had to cook a lot of bacon. I had to use up an entire can of not can. What do you call that? Bottle of I was like can jar no bottle of avocado oil. And then I used my precious 0 acre, which was sad, but I had just enough. The other thing I noticed was I think probably it's a little thicker when you do this, but most mayo recipes call for a cup of oil, but you can do it with 3/4 of a cup of oil. And so that was good to know. And it does make it a little thicker, obviously, because the little less oil. But I think that might be my go-to now because I never use up all of the mayo before it goes bad because it's only good for about a week. I did see on the internet today, there's somebody talking about if you add kombucha to it, not kombucha, the tea, the fermented tea, um, that can stretch that out. Oh, sorry, holding it. PayPal. So I will have to put a link about that somewhere. It's like a homestead channel that essentially like you can ferment your mayo a little bit and then it will last longer. So I don't know. Don't turn me into health and safety. But that is what's going on. And so yeah, mayo. Mayo was made today, pretty much the whole day. I had to cook 2 packages of bacon. My boyfriend will be eating a lot of bacon to get enough oil to make the bacon mayo. And that was kind of that. Does anyone have a question? I'm just rambling about bacon mayo at this time. But I'm glad to be here with you. We come together every week for a little bit of time to just chit chat away and see what people want to talk about. If you're joining me and you haven't yet made a comment, could you do so just so that I make sure my comments are working, even just to say hey? Because right now there are none, and that's unusual. And so I'm curious. Anyway, but I am coming to you from Berkeley, California. I come on here every Tuesday to talk about health, wellness, well being, weight loss, cooking, all the things. And so those are the things that I do. Tonight, it is indeed election night, voting day. So I don't know if people have lost. Oh, there we go. I got some comments. Okay, good. I don't know if people are, already deep into the whiskey or whatever. I'm not going to be talking about politics. I'm simply mentioning that is a thing happening today. We'll leave it there as I have a sip of water. So, welcome. Happy to be here with you. Did you? Oh, no, I don't. See, I have some props. I don't have all my props. Hold on a second. So let me tell you more about highly anxious. Yes, Devin, there's a lot of anxiety, and clearly I'm not alone in that. So hold on. I'm going to go on a walkabout. Hold on. Hopefully you aren't noticing that I'm wearing sweatpants. But if you are, that is what just happened. So indeed, it is a sweatpants kind of a day. All right. So so some of you might remember that this was a cookbook we put out last year, the holiday, our keto holidays. Anyway, we redid it with a new cover, not the gray. It's just a print version, right? And so this is a hardback version. You won't get the gray line. This is a hardback version we put together because we realized the pictures look better on the hardback version. They come out looking a lot better on the hardback version than they do on the not hardback version. So, because they're a little bit glossier. So it's basically the same cookbook though. So don't rebuy it just to rebuy it unless it's a special one. But we redid the cover and like redesigned, but the same recipes. So don't waste your money and get them both unless you like really want this, and then you can. So this is on Amazon now. So that's what's been going on there. And that's the haps. All right. Deborah, sorry. My cousin is a Deborah who we call Deb. So somehow my brain does that all the time. What do I think about mushroom coffee? So, I mean, I know there are mushroom coffees out there. They're kind of like a replacement, as far as I can tell, for, regular coffee. And there are various adaptogenic, uh, you know, things in mushrooms that can be, good for us. So I'm not against them. I just have not enjoyed them as much as I enjoy regular coffee. So I've tried a few of them. I'm pro coffee though. So, and but if you're somebody that is sensitive to coffee, if you don't have good effects from coffee, I would say sure. I don't think it's a problem. Um, they're better than Postum if you've ever had that. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on there. I don't know if you had like a question about like what do I think about them from like a nutraceuticals point of view? I do know there are some benefits to certain mushrooms like chaga mushroom and that can give people some various nutritional benefits, but I'm not super deep down that rabbit hole. So quite honestly, don't have a ton of information on that. I enjoy my regular iced coffee, which I have here. And so that's a daily pleasure. Although sometimes it's hot coffee, sometimes it's iced coffee. Usually I'm like a hot coffee morning, iced coffee afternoon kind of person. Deb says, I like passion fruit tea, no sweetener, no creamer. Yeah, passion fruit tea from the uh, Tazo company is, I think, a nice one. And that's the brand that they carry at Starbucks. And you can buy it at Target or Safeway or whatever and make your own at home. And I think that is awesome, and I do that a lot. I actually really like it with some electrolytes in it, the passion tea. I think it's a nice combo that can be very tasty. Yeah, I agree. Sometimes I like a little sweet, but some good on its own too. So there you go. Um, so yeah, thinking what else? So the Zero Acre oil that I use for the mayo, I've been wanting to use that one for a while because sorry, I'm jumping back to topics, but I realized I didn't complete a thought. Normal for me, right? Um, I order it from the company directly. It's a cultured oil, and it's very high in omega. What is it? What am I trying to say? Trying to remember. It's very high in monounsaturated oil. That's what I was trying to say. So it's like more olive oil than olive oil, really. And so, not that I have a major problem with saturated fats, but I also think that monounsaturated fats can be very beneficial. So it's low in the kind of omega-6 fats that you don't want, and it's high in the kind that you do want. And so it's got a really nice fat profile. And it's a cultured oil, sort of like when they make sweeteners or things like that, they culture them. So they're kind of more lab grown, which sounds a little scary to some of us, I know. But what it's doing is it's actually really a little bit easier on the environment because even avocado oil, they have to harvest a lot of avocados. And so if you're curious about it, go look at Zero Acres information. I like the oil. And so far, I feel positive about the things that that company is doing in the world, both environmentally and nutritionally, health wise. If I change my mind, if some information comes out that I didn't already have, I will let you guys know. But that is where I stand with that. I've seen that a few restaurants have started like using it instead of other kinds of oils. So that's an interesting one. And I use it because it's a very neutral flavored oil. Also, in case you guys didn't know, the reason I found out the reason that uh, olive oil doesn't work with a stick blender is if you have truly like good olive oil, like pure olive oil, it's very delicate. And so when you use a stick blender to make mayo, the stick blender moves very quickly and it breaks up the compounds in that olive oil and basically kind of cooks them and makes them taste super bitter. And so you cannot use a stick blender to make avocado, I'm sorry, to make, wow, you cannot use a stick blender to make olive oil mayo because it destroys the compounds basically and makes it taste Blech. Sorry, I've been making mayo all day. So I'm like, which kind of oil? What kind of anyway. So yeah, so if you want to add good quality olive oil to your mayo, you can whisk it in after. So you can start with like an avocado or something else. And if you want like a little hint of that olive oil flavor in there, like that appeals to you, then you make the mayo and then whisk that in at the end. Just so you know, stick blender and avocado and olive oil, not compatible, not compatible at all. Anyway, hey Keto Nana, it's good to see you. I just want to say that I am self-conscious today, and I think it's causing me to like increase it because last time I was on here with you guys, I was like, I couldn't remember several words I was trying to say. And now I'm like, oh crap, I just forgot the word olive. Everyone's going to think I am in cognitive decline. So that's where my brain went. And then that distracted me from what I was saying. So I looked even more uh, addled. And that's where we are. Welcome to the mind of a highly anxious person. Hello. So there you go. Anyway, um, so I'm just gonna blow that out of the little brain cells there. So I will say I have reached my goal weight that I set for myself when I was 21 years old. I am now 48 years old. So, there we go. So it took a while, but we're here. And I hope everyone is doing good for their own experience. Me too, says Deb. Congrats, Deb. Congrats. So, what kinds of questions do people have that they want me to answer today? I'm happy to. I'm all yours for the next several minutes. Yay, Deb said. All right. So, I'm thinking, what else has been coming up in the world that you guys might want to chitty chat about? Holidays are right on the horizon, which is a nutty. How is it not? It should still be, shouldn't it still be October? I don't know what's happening. I don't know. Anyway, time just flying by. Um, I'm just trying to think, what will I be making for this holiday season? And I think, um, so this is the kabocha squash soup, which goes with the kabocha I have here. So I'll probably be making that soon because I just bought a kabocha squash. Why did I buy a kabocha squash? I have a picture of the green one in the cookbook, and there wasn't a picture of the orange one, and they sell them a block away from my house. So I walked over there today and I bought an orange. They're technically called a red one, but my brain just told me I just said pink. Wow, the anxiety of the day is getting to me. If I did call it a pink kombucha, that would be awesome, but they don't exist. Hey, Catherine, it's good to be here with you. And then this is the way I do my turkey. That's a picture of a spatchcock turkey. I've just decided we're doing show and tell for a little bit so my brain can calm down. Wow, I did not realize that today would be like this, but I should just be aware that my brain is that way. So anyway, this is a spatchcock turkey, which is kind of fun, right? It's all spread out. Has anyone made spatchcock turkey or chicken before? It comes out so good. So good. You basically cut out the backbone, which sounds scary, but is easier than you think. And then you flatten it and you squash it to break its ribs. It's very violent. But then you get like a pretty flat bird, and then it cooks really evenly, and it comes out so tender and just delicious. And so that's really nice. And then, so that will be on the menu for Thanksgiving for sure. I don't know what you guys do with your families, but I do a Thanksgiving just with my boyfriend, so we have leftovers. Um, and and then I do the family version where I cook for all the people. So that's how it goes. So that way, when I come home, because I go to my mom's or another relatives, so that way I don't have to like worry about like, oh, I want this kind. Yeah, I let everybody else take all the leftovers, and I've made a full separate meal exactly the way I like it at my house. So then we've got those for the week. Catherine says I made some pumpkin things for Halloween as a test. Yeah, awesome. I was really in last week, and then I was like, "No, I'm done with it." To these pumpkin squares I make, which are just pumpkin, canned pumpkin, some pumpkin pie, protein powder, eggs, some yogurt, I think is in there. And then it's sort of like pumpkin pie filling, but because of the protein powder, it gets a little firmer. So you can make little squares, little finger food kind of squares. So I was really into those last week. Who knows what I will be into this week? I did buy a uh, peppermint chocolate mocha creamer. And so that is going to be like what brand is that? We know the one Nut Pods, the Nut Pods brand that I got. So it's no sugar, just got the kind of a chocolatey minty taste. So that might be my coffee creamer for a little bit. Catherine said, good idea. I have acquired an electric smoker. Oh, that's super fun. Yeah, my boyfriend wants prime rib, so I'll make a turkey breast for myself. Yeah, I like turkey. Not everyone likes turkey. Has anyone ever been to Terry Black's barbecue in Austin, Texas? I think a lot of you have, right? If you ever been to if you went to KetoCon or you ever visited Austin, Texas, you probably went to Terry Black's. And I remember the first several times I went to Terry Black's, obviously the brontosaurus rib, as they call it, the giant beef rib. That one is the like showstopper, right? So we all get that. But last time I went, I got the smoked turkey they have there, and it was amazing. Like amazing turkey. So good. I was like, it was all I wanted to eat. And I think some of that is that my tastes have shifted a little bit, and too much of the super high fat meat, I start to get a little indigestion from because I eat leaner now. But that turkey was amazing. If I lived in Austin, Texas, I would have a hard time not getting that all the time to eat and spending all my money there. So luckily, I think it's a little less expensive. Those beef ribs are like $60 a rib. It's rough, rough. I say, but yeah, super fun. Um, and yeah, so it's now November 5th. And we're just kind of heading into that week where everyone's a little confused for a while. And then eventually we're going to get to Thanksgiving. So, just getting prepped for that. And that's sort of the plan. My brother and his family have just moved to Italy. So it's kind of a smaller core group of family here in the Bay Area. So we'll enjoy Zooming with them. I don't know that they will do anything for Thanksgiving because they're in a non-Thanksgiving celebrating country, but they may. And then Christmas will do a similar thing with the Zoom holiday. Anyway, if anyone would like to tell me anything going on in their life that they want to talk about, I'm happy to talk about it. We can talk about random things, but I was just thought I would come on here tonight, share a little. It's probably too late to be drinking iced coffee, but so be it. While we just distract ourselves from all sorts of things and enjoy each other's company. And I will try to tonight. I will probably be working on editing Mayo videos. Yeah, that's probably what I'll be doing. Catherine says, big retail sales ahead for me. Insanity starts soon. Oh, you work in sales. That'll do it for sure. Yeah, it's a weird time of year. This sort of, you know, Halloween through New Year's period. If you're in sales, retail sales, it's very busy. But in many other industries, it's not very busy. And then you're sort of confused all the time about what's happening. So how do I manage stress? That is a good question. The first thing I try to do is protect my sleep as much as possible. So that means getting to bed at a decent hour, not doom scrolling on the phone. Sometimes I do that, and then I'm like, stop, put it down, and making sure that I'm going to sleep as much as I can. And then I kind of protect my meals. So if it's a busy time, I'll meal prep so that I know I always have good food to eat. And then I do things like take walks. outside in the sun, if there's sun, but in the air, and I meditate if I can. And I don't, my meditation is not like get out the fancy pillow. It's literally like if I get somewhere with 5 minutes to spare, I sit in my car and I, don't listen, the radio's off, I'm just sitting there. It's easier in winter when it's not hot, right? And I just close my eyes, I'll set a timer on my phone, and I'll just focus on my breathing for 5 minutes. And it just kind of gives me a little bit of a reset moment. So that's, very basic, but all those things kind of help with stress for me. Um, and making sure I'm communicating, noticing when I'm getting like really irritated about things. And then I usually bring in my boyfriend and I'm like, I'm a stress case. And he'll just help me kind of chill out and talk to me about ridiculous things and distract me. So I watch a lot of silly movies. I try not to watch stressful movies if I'm already stressed out. Um, or this is a good one that I do, and I think this is a little bit of my ADHD. I rewatch movies I've already seen where I know what's going to happen. That for me is super relaxing because I'm not like, what's going to happen? I'm like, oh yeah, they get together, or they do a thing, or this happens, right? I'm like, I know everything that's gonna happen in this movie, and it makes me feel very calm about the world. So that's one thing, too, that I do as well. Anyway, so those are some stress. And then I often find cooking is a thing that makes me feel less stressed, so I'll do that. But then every once in a while, I can't handle it, and then I'll be like, "I'm gonna buy food," because that's so I kinda, like, check in with myself about what would be more stress relieving for me. So those are kind of my general tips to relieve the stress this time of year. Um, I will be doing a keto unstuck in January. I haven't done one in forever, but it's my signature course where I talk about sort of when I was first keto and my weight got stuck, right? So I had lost about 60 pounds. I found myself unable to lose any more weight. I was trying to figure out what to do, and I kind of decoded how to unstick where I got stuck. And so I started a course based on that, and through those skills that I've learned and now teach, I run these keto unstuck. So they're designed primarily for people who are keto or low carb, and are kind of their weight loss has stalled out or is not going the way they want it to. So using those tactics that I teach, I personally have been able to lose another 60 pounds. So at this point, I've lost about 120 pounds. Let me do the math again. 124 pounds. And so that is exciting and weird. And yeah, so so keto unstuck will be coming again because I think that maybe people might be able to use some of the things that I teach in there. So that's what's going to happen in my January. So the next few months might be kind of getting some of those things ready to go. Sherry says, "Greetings, Miss Kim. Hugs from Leavenworth, Kansas. Thanks for sharing your thoughts and suggestions. Glad to be here with all of you. I am, yeah, I'm just a 40-year-old woman, 48-year-old woman trying to get used to the short bangs I've been given. Anyway, uh, the bangs when I got them were kind of a relief because they covered this area, and I was like, oh look, it's like Botox. And now they're a little sort of they're playful bangs. Apparently, my hairdresser wanted to do. So they were like, I don't know, I don't know how I feel. Anyway, we're getting used to them. They might be growing out soon. We'll see what happens there. I don't hate them. I like my eyebrows, and I like that you can still see that I have not gotten the Botox because I can independently move my eyebrows. And I kind of missed my eyebrows when I got the long bangs. So, everything is an adjustment. Everything, isn't it? Nothing is perfect. Anyway, yeah. And I hope that everyone is going to have a fabulous rest of the night. I think we'll call it an evening at this point because I feel like we've answered the questions that people had apparently. And I will get to editing mayo videos. And I will be eating a lot of mayonnaise containing foods for the next few weeks because there's a lot of mayo. I might even learn if mayo freezes. We'll see. But that's what's going on. Silent Runner says found a black witch's brew mug for 50 cents. Nice. Nice. All right. We'll make that strong tea. It's good for you. All right. I will see you guys next week. Everybody take care.